The threshold is only the middle of the path. Energy stirred at the sacrum must integrate upward or it pools and stagnates. Integration happens naturally when the spine is erect, breath remains slow and the eyes turn inward for a minute. Some practitioners lie supine, knees up, letting cerebrospinal fluid distribute along the dorsal canal. Others walk slowly, feeling each heel strike ripple to the crown. Choose what keeps the new frequency stable without collapsing into effort. When daily life resumes, small cues, wider peripheral vision, and ease around the heart, a quieter commentary in the head, signal that the vibration holds. Grounding is the safeguard. Ancient dancers finished practice by touching earth or cool stone, eating a little food, naming something entirely ordinary. The gesture tells the nervous system that expanded perception belongs inside human routine, not as an escape from it. Skip this phase and the gateway stays half open. Emotional residue bleeds into work and conversation. Fatigue follows. Finish well and the day feels rinsed. Practical tasks flow with unexpected synchronicity. Over weeks the baseline shifts. Sleep deepens because the sacral micromovement unglues stuck fascia, relieving nocturnal tension. Intuition grows factual. The phone buzzes and you already know which name appears. You choose a route home and pass an old friend whose help you need. Creativity increases because spinal fluid carries more oxygen and hormones to the limbic brain. Most striking is emotional resilience. Sudden criticism, traffic delay, uncertainty. The body receives the jolt, the sacrum absorbs and disperses it like a drum skin fluttering, and within seconds the field steadies. No bypassing, just faster recovery. Difficult material will surface. Stored grief in the hips, anger along the jaw, ancestral stories hidden in posture. Movement at the base loosens them. Welcome the surge, keep circling, exhale through the mouth if necessary, and remind yourself the bone was called sacred because it knows transmutation. The content is less important than the willingness to feel and let it burn clean. You will know the practice has matured when the pelvis starts to pulse spontaneously during meditation, when walking feels more like floating, and when silence no longer requires effort. In that maturity, the sacrum becomes a compass. If its gentle hum fades, you are overthinking. If it intensifies, you are aligned. Follow the hum. It will lead you into rooms of perception no doctrine can map, because they are made anew each moment by the unique rhythm of your own body. The sacrum is not a concept. It is bone, ligament, nerve, memory. Treat it with the respect you would grant any sacred instrument. A few minutes daily, consistent, honest, without strain is enough. Eventually the question, how do I reach altered states, dissolves. You are carrying the state. Every step fans the inner drum. Every breath rides its echo. The body you inhabit is the portal you were seeking. That is the whole teaching. No outside authority, no distant shrine, only the movement you allow at the root and the frequency that rises to meet it. Guard the simplicity of that truth. Refinement will come by itself. After a few weeks of daily practice, new questions usually surface. The first concerns scale. How small can the circles become before they stop working? Once the sacrum has memorized the pattern, the visible motion may shrink to little more than a pulse you feel rather than see. At this stage, the work is internal. Bone glides over the iliac surfaces, warmth spreads up the spine, and you can carry the exercise into ordinary settings, standing in a queue waiting for a lift, without attracting a glance. The next doubt is directional. Most people discover that one rotation feels effortless while the opposite direction is awkward. That imbalance mirrors the way we habitually load one hip, favor one leg, or cling to a familiar emotional stance. Persist gently with the difficult side. When both directions flow, mental indecision eases as well. Symmetry in the pelvis translates into symmetry in thought and response. Soon you will wonder whether breath alone can move the bone. Sit upright, exhale completely, then allow the next in-breath to rise from the pelvic floor rather than the chest. The diaphragm draws the sacrum a millimeter forward. On the out-breath it settles back. 10 such breaths leave the same luminous afterglow as 3 minutes of open circling. Use this microversion on trains, aeroplanes, or during a meeting when full movement is impossible. Another theme that arises is anxiety about Kundalini surges. The practice does not force energy, it clears a channel for whatever needs to rise. If unusual heat, inner light, or tremors appear, slow the circles, lengthen the exhale, and remain curious. Dramatic fireworks are unnecessary. Steady cultivation rewires more deeply than momentary extremes. Occasional discomfort in low back or hips simply means tissues are learning a new range. Pause, stretch hip flexors, hang briefly from a doorway bar to decompress the lumbar vertebrae, or lie with knees drifting side to side so the sacrum massages against the floor. Sharp pain is a signal to rest. A warm compress over the bone afterwards invites blood flow and speeds integration. As the weeks pass, the baseline shifts in ways you did not plan. Writing sessions become cleaner because the mind no longer fights the body. Ideas appear fully formed, editing time shrinks. In difficult conversations, awareness naturally drops to the sacrum. Tension in your tone dissolves without sacrificing honesty. Creative blocks break after 5 minutes of music with an earthy drum and free pelvic motion. Even sleep deepens. Gentle dorsal movement loosens fascia, the nervous system slips into parasympathetic calm, and dreams arrive in richer colors with occasional lucid fragments. Long-term markers are subtle but unmistakable. Standing feels effortless, as though the ground lifts you instead of gravity pulling. Empathy precedes analysis. Another person's tension registers like your own posture, and you adjust without story. Digestion smooths, hormonal rhythms settle, elimination finds an easy cadence. The pelvic organs respond each time the bone pulses. None of this must be pursued. It flowers when the circles remain small, the breath remains soft, and the intention stays clear. The sacrum is both geology and electricity, fused vertebrae formed like granite yet alive with neural pathways older than language. Moved with respect, it reveals a rhythm that predates every story you carry. Practice daily but without ambition. Over time, the bone becomes the teacher, gesture by gesture, until the difference between physical exercise and spiritual practice disappears.